Welcome to the SEGA Lounge, where we celebrate our love for all things SEGA, including the games, the music, and the community. I'm your host, KC. Join me as I talk to different guests and learn more about their projects and passion for SEGA. Hello and welcome to the SEGA Lounge. This is episode 240. Yes, it is. Well, how did you know? It's in the outline. Welcome, everyone. This is the season finale, the final episode of 2024. And it's like the season finale of our 10th anniversary season, which was a lot of fun to do, I would say, at least for me. And I think the best way to close this season of the show is to have my partners in crime, like the core members of our roundtable episodes. There we go. These two people here, brilliant people to my right, I think. First up, we have James SkillJim Brown.
Yo, yo, yo. How's it going, KC?
Yo, yo.
Happy final episode of the season day.
Excellent. Glad you could join us. Yeah. And Lime reversed.
Yo, 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 how's it going, man?
Twitch affiliate Lime reversed, I should say. Sonic completionist Lime reversed. Sonic 100%er Lime reversed.
Indeed.
It's too good for a t-shirt, though.
Too good for a t-shirt. Too good for a Sonic t-shirt.
I don't need t-shirts. I don't need that to prove my fandom. I am a Sonic completionist.
Anyway, welcome to the show. Glad you guys could join me for this final episode. We're going to go through the year in SEGA. Is that a thing? 2024 SEGA in review. We're going to look back to what we thought were the biggest things that happened in the world of SEGA, at least from our perspective, in terms of news, in terms of games, and other tidbits. We're going to try to keep it short, being the final show and everything. And since we're also recording this quite late in the night, especially for Lime. So yeah, let's
time zones.
We need to keep it very low, quiet volume.
What?
We don't want to wake up the neighbors.
I can't hear you.
You're ruining it. Everyone's awake now. Okay.
Poor neighbors.
So let's start, though. I want to start this by briefly mentioning something, no biggie, like the Game Awards last week. We're recording this actually a week before the show airs, but it's also a week after the Game Awards aired. And I wasn't really expecting much from the Game Awards. So first of all, did you guys, what do you feel about that? What do you feel about the event? Was it interesting? Was it better than expected? Did you watch the event, or at least the announcements?
I stayed up as much as I could. I think we'd actually recorded a show that night, right? So I was already quite a bit of a high from the show that managed to get me through the night. Otherwise, I would normally have never stayed up that late. But I actually really enjoyed it. I thought there was a lot of interesting announcements outside of SEGA as well. I think that the whole show was quite well structured. I know it's long. It's always bloody long. It's 3 hours plus or whatever it was. But a real proper good show and a lot of unexpected announcements, especially SEGA-wise. I know we did discuss Virtua Fighter a little bit before, but I was not expecting the Virtua 6.
I was not expecting that.
Virtua Fighter 6. And the Direct as well.
And then a completely brand new game from RGG Project Century, which looks awesome as well. Completely not on anyone's radar. And also a new, we mentioned it briefly, didn't we, Lime? Because we were talking about having a Sega All-Stars racing, another one of those games, and then we get a Sonic racing game that says, it's called Cross Worlds, whatever that means. I don't know if that's going to cross into other Sega worlds or it's strictly Sonic only. But
I love that we talked about both Virtua Fighter and Sonic Racing, the day or two before.
convenient.
Yeah. We were talking about like during our tier list conclusion episode. We talked about this. So
Like
let's
us,
start there. Crossworlds. Is this All Stars or is it like Sonic Racing? Because the title concerns me a little bit. It's not
Yeah.
that Team
Same
Sonic
here.
Racing is a bad game. It's just not on par with Transformed.
Yeah. So I
I'd be
was
interested. Sorry,
just
Lyle.
like sitting there the day after, like it's basically like skimming through things, you know, like blah blah blah, first person shooter, blah blah blah, another first person shooter, blah blah blah, first person shooter, and then like suddenly, wait, Crossroads. What is what is this? What is this? And then I saw the thing, and I'm like, my gosh, yes. My gosh, I am so happy. And I tried to look through for frame by frame, and it turns out that it seems like, first of all, Shadow is in Tokyo. There, it seems racing. Like I can't like 100% confirm that, but like there seems to be like some Japanese text in the corner. At least it's like it's a vertical text, so like that's just my guess.
It looks like movie Sonic
That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
or at least a city. Like
Yeah.
I was
it
thinking
has that
like
same vibe.
start of Sonic 2 movie where he's in that bank heist sort of thing going on.
Yeah.
And
And
he goes all
it's-
across the streets.
And second of all, someone pointed out like if you could like go back to where Shadow starts the car,
There we go.
and you can see
It's a garage.
Maybe.
past
Okay.
there.
Okay.
You can see something on the wall.
Okay, I'll try to. Okay, so let's go back here.
Past there.
Oh wait, so not here. No, not here. Wait,
There.
here.
Where you
Okay.
can see this thing on the wall.
Wait, I'll
Like something covered
Here?
up.
Yeah, the thing that's
like
covered
something
up.
covered up. Okay, there we go. Is that
There.
the motorcycle?
What does that look?
Ooh.
I also thought it looked like a motorcycle, but other
Yeah,
people
yeah.
see it as a Sonic Riders board.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Oh, so do you think like the extreme gear, right? Do you think like there's gonna be like some sort of transformed mechanic, but instead of
Or-
like the vehicles change, you change the vehicle, you change into another
mean,
vehicle.
Or it's an Easter egg. I have no
Could be
idea.
as well. Would make sense.
Like, but my first thought was also like, oh, Shadow has a motorcycle, and that kind of like could be seen as a little more motorcycle-y
Mhm.
shape. But then it's a kind of a weirdly shaped motorcycle, and other people seem to see like it's one of those like extreme gear from Sonic Rider boards. So
Oh, actually,
I mean,
yeah. The first comment on the video is, "Y'all see that Sonic Rider's extreme gear on the wall, though?"
yeah. So I
maybe
mean, who
That's
knows
it.
what that means? Like, is it a transformation or is it just an Easter egg? Probably just an Easter
Could
egg.
be
I'm-
just
I'm
an Easter
thinking.
egg. Like a
So
callback.
yeah, because like
Mhm.
it's like it's hung on the wall. It's like covered over. Like that's the past. Now it's this thing. Like
Mhm.
it could be that, but I still thought it was interesting.
I will say this wasn't on my bingo card for the Game Awards, to be honest. But I know a lot of people were. Like I saw that after, and a lot of people were betting on a new Sonic and All Stars racing game or
Hmm.
Sonic. What's it called now? Sonic and Sega? No, Sonic All Stars. Sonic and All Stars. I think that's it. So people were like betting on the Transformed 2 trailer or announcement.
Yeah,
Which-
yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know
This
that.
isn't apparently.
Yeah. What I'd be interested in is if this isn't a Sonic and All Stars racing game and this is just another in the series of Team Sonic Racing, have they got the metrics that say that game actually performed better than Sega and All Stars Racing? Because like if they're doing a sequel to Team Sonic Racing, surely
I
that
think
kind of
it's gonna
says that
be
Team Sonic Racing is better.
transformed inspired because it says racing across land, sea, air, time,
Ooh,
and space,
interesting.
Okay.
which I
Does
think
that
is
mean,
interesting.
does that sort of think about like frontiers, perhaps time and space?
Yeah. So
Like what I'm thinking
if it's
is,
it could be just transformed like,
yeah,
but with Sonic characters only.
yeah, it could be, but since it's cross world, it could still
Could
be
also
that we
be.
see the characters, but the stages could probably be from other games. If it's
Could
cross
be as
world,
well.
it could be
Could be
that.
as well.
One thing that I'm seeing in front of me is like you know how in Transformed, every lap the track kind of changed.
Mm-hmm.
What if
Transforms.
what if there's a new lap, but now you're in another time of that same place, and so that's why the stage changed.
Ooh,
Or
like
even
Sonic CD,
another world entirely
Yeah, I mean,
past,
yeah.
present, future.
could also be.
Um,
That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
it's a very fun and interesting concept, and I could see how this is not necessarily only Sonic stages. It might only be
Sonic
Sonic
characters.
characters,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm.
yeah,
Could be. Could be. We'll see. We'll see. So it's coming soon. Didn't get a specific date for this, but we got a coming soon, whatever that means. I'm holding off judgment. It looks good, like this teaser, just a teaser. So it does really, we can't really judge anything. But I'm holding judgment until I get a proper like description of what the game is and what this entails, what the cross worlds thing entails.
yeah,
I would
yeah.
much
It could be
prefer like a
very cool stuff.
Sega. Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be. Team Sonic Racing is a very cool concept as well. I would probably, I haven't played it like in co-op, but I would assume that it's a very cool co-op game. I've heard people talk about how it's a great co-op game, like a couch co-op game. Can you play it online? Online co-op? I don't think so.
Yeah, yeah, I think you can.
You
I think
can?
I've played it online
Okay, in
with
that
people.
case.
Yeah,
Maybe
no, I
that's
don't. Yeah,
how the game is. But I think it's if you have a team of people, team of friends who can play the game together, that's probably really fun because the
how you play
concept
it.
is
Yeah, yeah.
interesting, right? You have
I
like
think a concept like that should probably be like a secondary concept and not the main concept. Like it could definitely be fun to add, like as
like a
a
multiplayer
feature,
mode.
but yeah, but like not as a main feature because like the whole thing doing that with AI drivers,
Yeah.
it kind of very much loses its purpose.
So that's why I would very much enjoy seeing a return to the transformed formula.
Yeah, me too.
But
Me too.
it's hard to top because they included a lot of stuff. But it would be interesting to see things that weren't in Transform. Like there are like that. You now have Atlas. We talked about this last week. You have Atlas. You have like a dragon and stuff like that. So you could expand on it. The way they're going apparently is like focusing more on Sonic. But if we at least get some characters or at least sages or Easter eggs that are Sega focused, I'll be not as happy as I could, but I'll be a little bit happy about that.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I was thinking about this announcement after your interview with Steve Lysett.
Mhm.
Didn't he mention towards the end that they were working on a new game or something?
Yeah, but that wasn't it. That wasn't it. Wasn't
right.
this? No, okay. No. They were the game they were working on. They announced it already.
Oh,
and it wasn't this. No. It was from like another franchise from another company, so not this. But he did tell me that Transformed is as good as it gets. So what can we do more with that, right?
Mm.
Maybe at the time he didn't know anything, or maybe he was just eluding me.
Add more stages.
Yeah, probably in characters. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I would pay full price for a transformed deluxe. Like do like I talked about this last week. Do a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe
Yeah.
thing. Like do a transform deluxe for like current gen systems and Switch 2, and include more stuff.
Who knows? Maybe they are nailing this, and that's basically what we get. Who
We'll
knows?
see. We'll see. Moving
Even
on.
better.
Moving on. So that's Sonic Racing Crossworlds. Another thing that was announced was Project Century, which is basically nothing at this point. It's just a trailer. It looks so. This is another project from RGG Studio, and it's set in 1915, as the trailer shows, right? And it's basically old timey Yakuza, old timey Like a Dragon. Apparently,
Looks awesome.
looks like
it looks
really
like
good.
one of those YouTube videos that like they've got footage from that era. Like someone's restored it and added color to it.
Exactly. The art
love
direction
seeing
is
stuff like
on point here.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah,
then
very
when
much
this
so.
starts, it really looks like Yakuza, like a dragon, right?
True.
Maybe with more like detail. It's
It's
apparently
rain.
more
It's amazing.
violent though. Like not violent, but like more gory, like bloody, and this is
Oh yeah.
this is much more than. I don't know if much more, because Like a Dragon is a little bit like this, but I think it's
That
a little
looks
bit more
strange,
graphic.
Definitely with the blood.
Yeah, more bloody. Yeah. But it does look like a dragon, old timey Like a Dragon. Whatever this is, it's being called Project Century.
Do we think that is the title of the game, or just Project something?
I don't think it
sort
is.
Yeah.
I don't think it is.
Be called something else.
Yeah, it's something that I'm not expecting this to come out next year, to be honest. I wouldn't even be surprised if this turns out to be like a PlayStation 6 thing.
Really?
It
depends.
Like
Maybe they'll
it's probably coming out in 2000XX.
That's for sure. That's for
I'm
sure.
thinking that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So really, really looking forward to knowing more about this, but it looks really good. Another thing that was announced, and I would argue that this was the big thing for in terms of Sega announcements, was Virtua Fighter 6. And
That's exciting.
this teaser trailer is with pre-alpha footage, by the way, but looks really, really good.
Yeah,
And
that's
I'm
very
not
cool.
a big Virtua Fighter fan in terms of like the actual game, as I'm not a big fighting game fan, but I'm a Virtua Fighter fan in terms of like, I love the idea of Virtua Fighter, and it's like, it's part of the Sega brand, and it's part of like, when you think of Sega, you think of Virtua Fighter as well. And seeing this, and seeing Akira like this, really made me feel like warm and fuzzy inside.
Yeah.
I mean, this trailer's interesting that they've gone with this sort of trailer, because until you see the logo, I didn't really think I was watching a Virtua Fighter 6 reveal.
Yeah.
I thought that this was a Red Dead Redemption thing for some reason.
Virtua
And even
Fighter
the logo,
is back.
yeah. Like it doesn't really say Virtua Fighter 6, so is it like a complete rebrand? Is it going to be just called Virtua Fighter?
No, it is Virtua Fighter 6, I think, but they announced it as at the Game Awards as new Virtua Fighter project. But then during the direct, I think they specifically
They
said,
did say 6.
I think they said that. I'm not sure, but I do think they said 6. But now I'm questioning myself. But yeah, I think so. And they talk about it. So after the Game Awards, there was a short-ish Virtua Fighter Direct celebrating 30 years of the franchise, with even Yu Suzuki recorded a message as well, and other people.
It was cool.
Right.
It was really, really cool as a way to thank the fans. And also, and this, as cool as this was, it was also a big disappointment to people because the beginning of the direct was like that thank you to the fans with a video that looked like an amazing way to frame a museum like game, like a collection like game. They showed like footage from each game with like the arcade machines, and it really looked like the opening cinematic to a potential Virtua Fighter collection that wasn't announced. So people were really sad about that, myself included. I think it's one of those franchises that could really do well if they decided to do that, like one of those like Gold Master series games by Digital Eclipse,
Yeah.
or anyone else. But it's nice that they're
Capcom
acknowledging
Fighting
this at
Collection.
least. Yeah, like that. And also Virtua Fighter 5 Revo is now in open beta on Steam, so people can actually and have been playing that. It's going to release, I believe, in January 2025, as well as a 2.0 update to Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown, which is basically what Virtua Fighter Revo is. So if you were around the community in 2022, I believe, perhaps 1, 2, I don't remember when it was released. But that was a big thing, and everyone was playing Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown. It's a memory that I hold dear to my heart, actually. Although I'm not a big fighting game fan, I played a lot of that on my PlayStation 4.
I
And they're
could
updating
be
it.
a fighting fan. Like I know, like whenever I really get into a fighter game and like, you know, really learn the moves and things like that, the combos and stuff, then I really, really enjoy it.
Yeah.
So like I could definitely see myself getting into this.
Yeah. That's it. The more you play something and the better you get at it, the more you enjoy it, for sure.
Yeah.
I also hope.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're just like mashing buttons and don't know what you're doing. Like it's when you really nail the strategy is when it's fun.
For sure. That's what I do. I also expect, I also hope, wish with all my heart that Yu Suzuki can somehow get the Virtua Fighter engine to work with Shenmue 4.
That would be
Not
the
going to
dream.
happen, but that would be the dream, right?
Yeah.
That would be amazing. And seeing Yu Suzuki talking about like the recording message for the anniversary was really, really cool.
Yeah, it would be nice if he sort of got in there with, I'll do this message if you give me the engine.
Yeah, that was actually, if we're talking about things that we really, the big thing that I didn't really like was in Shenmue 3 was the combat. That was the thing that, for me, when I think of things that bug me, that's the combat. And I really wish we could somehow get a patch that could just like work out the kinks and make it like the proper thing that we had before with the Virtua Fighter engine. Anyway, those were the announcements. A shout out as well to some of the SEGA winners. I wasn't expecting, by the way, Astrobot to win Best Game.
You were or weren't?
I weren't. I thought it would be Final Fantasy VII. Like the Final Fantasy fans would vote on that, but apparently Astrobot was.
Yeah, I said the Astrobot has been very, very beloved when I talk to people who have played it. So, yeah,
for sure. Yeah, but Metaphor Refantasio won Best Narrative, Best Art Direction, and Best RPG, which are three, like being the best RPG of the year in a year filled with amazing RPGs, including Sega ones. It's a very good sign for this game. And then I think that's about it in terms of Sega awards. Am I recalling correctly?
I think so.
I don't think it was just like Metaphor, right? I don't think
Yeah.
any of the others. I was also expecting maybe Unicorn Overlord to win the best strategy game, but apparently that didn't happen. Was not a game that I played actually, but people were really singing its praises as well everywhere when it came out earlier in the year.
I love that
But
name though.
yeah,
Unicorn Overlord.
Overlord.
yeah. And Metaphor was against Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth in that category as well as best RPG. So that's a good sign. There were a lot of several Sega nominees on the Game Awards. It is what it is. It doesn't really, you like it or not. It's nice that some Sega games get this recognition, and thankfully Fallout won as best adaptation, and not Knuckles or Like a Dragon Yakuza, because Fallout was by far the best video game, or is by far the best video game series I think I've ever watched, the best show I've ever watched. So was well deserved.
Not that bowling tournament from Knuckles. No, did you not think that was a good adaptation?
I'm slapping SkillJim for listeners only.
I mean, that shade is deserved, in my opinion.
And also, what are you adapting? Like the character from the movie to a TV show? Doesn't really make sense.
He had his heart.
But because adaptation, I don't know. Is it the world? I don't know. Let's not talk about that. But yeah, so that's the Game Awards and all the things that we didn't discuss before on the show because we didn't know what would happen. But let's move on, guys, and talk a little bit about the year of 2024 in terms of Sega. So we have a few topics here. Let's start with the games. I don't think we had wasn't like a big year in terms of news, so to speak. Like it was like big things, like controversial things that happened. Were there? Maybe a couple,
Sega is releasing a new console.
no,
there was nothing
no
like that, was there?
Dreamcast Mini or Saturn Mini.
Saturn Mini, no.
But it's all about the games, and I think that's for the best. That's what we want, right? We want good games, good game announcements, and I think we got both of those this year. So this was Fearless, Year of Shadow.
Yeah.
Really holding out hope for Useless, Year of Silver one day.
It's no use.
Useless. Year of Silver. It's no use. And that meant a lot of Shadow content, a lot of Shadow merch, there we go. Trying to find that actually to get one. A Squishmallow. They're very expensive though.
They've got some new characters I've noticed. We've got like an Amy one, a Supersonic one, an Eggman one.
I found it on Amazon, but you can't choose which one they sent you. You just buy one and they'll send, it's like a blind, not box, but a blind Squishmallow. You're making me jealous. No.
So soft.
Yeah, you really seem to be enjoying that. And I'm like, aw.
I have my bootleg Shadows. 2 of them.
I don't even have a shadow.
Wow.
And I have another one that's
I
over
don't
there.
have a
But
shadow.
I have another.
Is he holding a
Sonic and
banana?
Tails.
It's not a banana. It's a Chaos Emerald. It's that damn Chaos, 4th Chaos Emerald.
Banana. It's like he's about to tuck in.
I don't have a shadow.
He's bringing his own banana to play Super Monkey Ball. It's all gone full circle.
Casey, I'm giving you a look.
All the callbacks. Anyway, I also have one that glows in the dark, and that Stretches.
Cool.
I wasn't the biggest of Shadow fans before, but Fearless, they got me. They got me. The promotion was good. But I
I'm
think
being inspired by the feelers thingy. Like this year, I am really facing like one of my absolute worst like nightmare scenarios, which is flying. I absolutely hate flying. I really do. But yeah, I this is a time. This is a year where I'm gonna do what I've been wanting to do for so many years, but didn't have the courage to go to London and meet some of the Twitch friends. Watch the Sonic movie 3 before it comes out in Sweden. So yeah, I'm so looking forward to that, but I'm also so scared. So yeah.
Have you been on a plane before?
We actually
Ryan?
have footage of that.
I have been on a plane before. Like, believe it or not, like my dad had a flying certificate, so we went up like often, like in like a 4-seat plane. But I think like that's kind of one of the things that got me scared of it, because like you can feel turbulence like a lot. Like the plane goes like very much like up and down, like a roller coaster, like very, very easily. And I do not like that at all. I absolutely
Hopefully,
hate that.
I say, hopefully, like this trip, you have like the best flight experience possible, and then you'll be like, oh,
It's the
it's not
first
so
of
bad
many.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I said I have footage of that, obviously not Lime flying, but Fearless, the Fearless promo.
Fearless
For
promo.
people listening and think, oh, we have like a movie, like a recording of Lime in an airplane. No, it's just the Fearless promo. But
Yeah,
maybe Lime will record himself on the plane and then we'll play it back next season.
I'm gonna
London trip vlog.
on the plane. I'm gonna go like, yeah, Fearless, Year of Shadow.
You get
That's the
yourself a little
spirit.
shadow to cuddle up to.
I should really have one of those.
One of those
Really have
squishmallows.
Yeah.
a shadow
Really cute.
squishmallow to hug. Like, teach me how to be fearless. I should really. But yeah,
Obviously.
like I've been on commercial flights like 2 times, I think. After that, and they have all gone very, very well. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's
that, but there's always that fear, like, okay, those 2 went well, but what if I was lucky? So
no,
yeah,
and it's going to be a memorable trip, I believe,
I
with all
do
with the
think
movie
that
and stuff.
it's
So
gonna be one of the best days of my life, because I really like, I think I've talked about that on the show. Like, my dream has been to watch this Sonic movie 3 like together with other fans. Like, you can just like all shout together, like when Live and Learn starts playing, or something like that. I just really want to enjoy it together with other people who understand, and I just took that decision at some point, and like, this is gonna happen, and now it's happening, and it's yeah.
be fearless. Be
Be fearless.
fearless.
Be careful with your phone, Lime. Don't get it out too much in London. You get
Yeah.
swiped.
Yeah.
People are gonna swipe it.
Yeah, I
Be
lost mine
careful.
in London.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Right.
go like this. Hello. No.
Right, but the big thing about Fearless was for sure Shadow X Sonic Generations, and
Yes.
specifically Shadow Generations, which was probably like the most for most Sega fans the biggest game this year, maybe. So do you feel about that Shadow X Sonic Generations? Was it worth the hype, guys? We already talked about this on the show, but was it worth the hype?
It's absolutely amazing in my opinion. I was definitely wowed. It's amazing, and I absolutely, and I want to highlight this, love the direction they are taking Sonic in, like from Sonic Frontiers and up until and including Sonic in the Shadow generations, like with the direction, and like you can really feel like they are putting effort into the action in a certain way that they haven't done before, like with the supersonic parts in Sonic Frontiers, and like basically everything in then the Shadow generations. I love this direction. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. What about you, James? We haven't actually, I think, talked about this on the show with you.
I personally preferred Frontiers. I liked Shadow X Sonic Generations, but I didn't love it, to be honest, as much as I thought I was going to. I really enjoyed the Act 1 stages in Shadow's portion, obviously. But other than that, I felt like the open world was a little clunky in parts for me. There was like times where I was like running around quite a lot and not really getting where I needed to be, if that makes sense.
Are you talking about in the hub world now, in the
Yeah.
white
Hub
space?
world, yeah.
Yeah. Right.
But once I got to like the actual stages, and I even enjoyed the little challenge missions. I know a lot of people thought those were a bit like, what's
I
that
like
word
them.
where they sort of like, yeah, I enjoyed them, but a lot of people padding is the word.
Oh,
A lot of people
yeah.
thought they were padding to like sort of move. But I really enjoyed it. I quite enjoyed the boss fights. I didn't think they were like incredible boss fights. Like Sonic Frontiers Supersonic boss fights were like the pinnacle for me. They were like insane, especially with the music playing as well. Whereas the Shadow ones were, I don't know, a little bit more average for me. But overall, the package is amazing that you get like sort of 2 games in one. A lot of content.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was actually pleasantly surprised in terms of like, I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was, to be honest. Maybe my expectations were a little bit lower.
I think what thinking me was that I played it a little bit after all the reviews and like everyone was giving it 10s and really high praise and stuff. So I was thinking I was going to go into it and be blown away, and I kind of wasn't.
I thought I didn't let myself get affected by that because I assumed people would love this game. Not
Yeah.
like IGN and stuff, but everyone was like, IGN
true.
gave it a 9. That's amazing. We're so bad. And I'm like, are you really putting that much like faith and pressure on like the IGN people? Is it so important for you to see IGN praise a game? Just like
I
it or
think the
not.
thing was like, I mean, I think the thing is, and I think that IGN is also aware of this, that it's kind of like even IGN liked this game, and that's why it's a big deal.
Yeah. I don't think, and sometimes people criticize IGN for being like too unfair when they review Sonic games. I don't think they're unfair. They're just not really. Some of the people they have reviewed games in the past weren't the biggest Sonic fans in the world, so they were looking at the game from the perspective of like an average gamer and not a Sonic fan. For example, the person who reviewed this game has said that she was always a big Sonic fan. She didn't review. I think she reviewed Superstars as well, and she didn't like it as much, which is fine, which is fair. Not everyone enjoyed Superstars, like I did, for example. but I think I wasn't expecting Shadow Generations to be as good as it was, and I'm happy that we got a very decent game here. Hopefully, Lime will fix his camera issues as well.
Yeah, I'm trying
I don't know.
to try to fix
Everything was
to try to fix
everything
things.
was
Like
working
it's-
fine. I don't know what happened. What you're trying to do, because everything was fine before you just like
Yeah, like
lowered
it's
the
not following me
Sunk into the
as
floor.
it should as
Okay.
it should be, and so I was trying to solve that.
like Lime is a bodiless head now.
Quicksand.
We can like do this and
Oh,
maybe like
wait,
hello.
no.
There we go.
I mean, that could.
If you're
That
not
could work.
watching the video version, please do, because this is one of the highlights of this season of the show. Anyway, Shadow X
I'm gonna
Sonic
unplug the camera and
Generations.
see if that works.
Shadow X. Oh, this is very hard to say now. I don't know why. I've been saying this all year. Shadow X Sonic Generations it was a very good game. Not my Sega game of the year, though, and probably because I really enjoyed Shadow Generations, but I think the Sonic portion, not having more work done, really like I didn't really like that. So yeah. While we wait for Lime to come back, and after fixing his issues, I think we can move on to the next part, which is one of the biggest Sega games of the year, Metaphor Refantasio.
Fantasio.
So Metaphor Refantasio, we already mentioned, it won Best RPG at the Game Awards. This one was getting 10s all around.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. It's a turn-based RPG, like a proper turn-based RPG. We did an episode last week discussing this game in detail. So if you missed that, just go back to episode 246. But I think Metaphor was actually a very good game, and the best way for Sega to like close its release calendar, so to speak, Sega / Atlas. I know you guys haven't played much, right? Just a few hours.
I've played like an hour of it. So like I haven't really like gotten into the game yet. But like I really want to. But yeah.
Okay. James, you played like
need to get
6 hours or so, right?
I played about 6 hours, so I've got a fairly decent sort of idea of what's happening with the game, and I really do want to play more of it. It's just obviously I've been super busy with other things recently, Shamu related. But it's definitely one that I want to go back to because I was having a lot of fun with it actually, and I'm not really a big turn-based guy, as you're probably well aware. But I do like the turn-based combat in these sort of games like your Personas and Metaphor. I think it's a different type of turn-based. It's a little bit more, there's things going on.
It's more accessible as well this time. We there's ways, like if you're in a dungeon, if the enemies, if you're they're weaker than you, you can just run up to them and attack them, and they'll get destroyed without getting into an actual like turn-based battle, which is nice. If you level up, you can, and you still get experience points. You still like get magic points and stuff by doing that, but you don't have to waste a lot of time in turn-based battles. So that's an interesting thing that Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth also did, but it took a little bit longer because you always, even if you didn't do anything, there was also always like a let's get into battle screen and the results screen. So you always wasted a little bit more time than in this, which is just like slash and you're done. And you keep running and you just don't stop. There's no results. There's like a little information on screen, like you got certain experience points or magic points. You got a little bit of health back, and that's it. And just keep going. I would say, though, and I mentioned this during our special last week, if you're not a big RPG or turn-based RPG fan, you'll probably take a little bit of time to get into the game. I would say if you are able to stick with it and keep going, because the first few hours, and when I say few, several hours of the game are basically tutorials. They don't tell you that, but it's like a big tutorial. You're 6 hours into the game, James. You probably,
like,
I don't think so.
Dungeon?
Have you seen the funeral scene? The funeral of the king? Probably not.
I don't know. I'm in the first dungeon, so when it was like there was a date progressing towards the appointment of a new king.
Yeah. Okay. And so you're not even close to being done with the tutorial. That's not even the tutorial. Right. yet.
Okay. Okay.
You're going to go to the capital city, and then the real tutorial starts.
Oh,
I do feel.
wow!
I do feel like
Not
I've
even
been to
at the
the.
tutorial yet. Oh,
I do feel like I've been to the capital city though, because I've been
Oh,
running
you're,
around
you're
the big
talking
city.
about the appointment of a new king. So you've seen the big face in the sky.
Yes, I
Oh,
believe so.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
you're actually in the tutorial now. If you're that's
Oh,
the
okay.
because you've been to a dungeon before in the game, and you
Yeah.
fought like a big boss as well.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not the first dungeon. That's like the
It's.
pre dungeon.
I think I've done the pre-dungeon then, and then I'm in like the main dungeon,
Okay, that's the first
like
one.
the
That's
one that takes
the actual tutorial.
like hours and hours to get through. Because I feel like I've been in there for about 2 hours,
Okay.
running down all the different corridors and staircases, and
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's the actual tutorial. The game opens up after that. The game truly opens up after that. And it
Interesting.
becomes a completely different thing. And it keeps opening
know.
up after that as
Yeah,
well.
I know there's like a lot of different concepts going on with like the different.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what they're called, but it's like personas, isn't it? How you've got like these
Archetypes
different
here. Yeah.
archetypes, yeah, with healer and knight attacker,
Seeker,
and these sort of things.
knight. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can combine them as well, which is interesting.
Yeah.
And if you've got multiples of them in your party as well, like these different skills that sort of combine. So there's like it's quite in depth, really, of all the different combinations and stuff that are going on there, which is something that's going to be interesting to look into. There's supposed to be a guidebook coming out actually soon. Did you see that
It's
advertised?
not really that different from the Persona series. The concept is basically the same. It's just different, like the wording is different. And like you're studying these archetypes, which are basically your personas in the other games. And just like in the other games, strengthening your bonds with other characters will unlock new archetypes or new moves, new attacks and stuff, new skills. So it's basically the same thing, but in a different setting. It's more of a fantasy. I much prefer like the Persona real world setting than the fantasy one, but I'm enjoying this game very much. And I still have, I don't think I'm even halfway into the game, and I've played so much of it. But it's one that I really want to go see through and finish the story, because the story is getting even more interesting as you progress. So I do recommend it, even if you're not a big turn-based RPG fan. I think even if you're not a big turn-based RPG fan, if you stick to it a little bit, stick with it, I think you'll enjoy it.
You will be a fan.
Maybe. So that's Metaphor Fantasio, which is another highlight of the year. In terms of quality, I don't know, maybe a little bit above overall Shadow X Sonic Generations, I think. Like for what it is, I believe that's like a little bit, a step above. It's the best RPG
I
of the
can't
year.
believe what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
No.
You know.
Wow.
I've
An award-winning game.
I told you this. It's like the Sonic Generations part of the package brings it down a notch for me. It is
The
what
Sonic
it is.
Generations part? Is that, yeah?
If they did something more with the Sonic Generations part, I would probably consider this to be my game of the year. Sorry?
I can see that.
Silver Generations.
So useless. Year of Silver.
I mean, that would be cool. I could, because like Silver does have very interesting mechanics, and they could really play around with that to something very, very awesome.
Remake Sonic 06?
Yeah.
From the ground up?
Yeah.
With current Sonic, with the current Sonic engine and Shadow engine and stuff. Maybe.
Yeah.
Only if it's got live and learn in it.
If the game hasn't live and learn in it, I'm not playing.
It can have live and learn, but you can tell Johnny Gioeli, otherwise he'll sue. Okay. So another thing that I want to mention let's actually go with Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, which is probably, and as much as I praise Metaphor Fantasio, I think it's my overall Sega game of the year. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. recency bias is a thing, and Shadow and Metaphor came out recently-ish. Like a Dragon came out in like February or January or whatever it was, and many people probably already forgot about it. But I think I this is my game of the year. It's just an amazing turn-based RPG, by the way. Again, another, and it was nominated for best RPG among other things. It didn't win, but it was I think the nomination was well deserved. And for me, being set in the world of Like a Dragon probably made the difference here, with the two main characters together for the first time, and all the callbacks to what happened in the previous mainline games as well. And the story of Like a Dragon games is always amazing. So for me, this is probably the game of the year personally. But have you guys played this?
I'm still debating in what order to play my Yakuza games. I played Yakuza Like a Dragon, and then I've played Yakuza 0. So then, do I continue with Infinite Wealth, or do I continue with the Yakuza Kiwami? Like, I'm thinking like I might enjoy Infinite Wealth a little bit more if I played through like some of the earlier games first. But do I want to wait so long? Like, it's going to be 10 years, I feel, until I finish all of them up until that point. So yeah, I'm debating what to do.
If you play them on stream, it's probably going to take you a long time. If you
Yeah,
play
that's what I'm
them
thinking.
on your own
Yeah.
time, and you don't want to 100% them,
Yeah,
because that's going to take you long.
I'm not going to aim to
If you're
100%
just
the
gonna,
Yakuza game.
if
No.
you just plan on playing them as like let's see what this is about. Let me have some fun in my own time. You'll probably be able to play them in a fairly reasonable time.
Having said that, though, he got through Shenmue 1 and 2 really quick.
Yeah, if you're just focusing on the main story, you can do that with all the Yakuza games as well.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah. The main story is not that long. What makes you waste time is the side stuff, for sure. Yeah.
Right.
But James, have you played this?
I've not played this one. No, I was still, again, probably about 10 hours into Like a Dragon. So that's another game that I've got to go back to at some point and finish that first.
The other one. So the previous one.
The one before
Yakuza
this. Yeah,
Like
I do
a
want to
Dragon.
play.
Yeah.
I want to play the man that erased his name before Infinite Wealth as well. Obviously, those are the only Yakuza games that I've not played. Like,
Okay.
I've completed all of the others, and then I got a little bit burnt out. But I mean, how long's the burnout going to be? I don't know.
And these are the Like a Dragon ones, or Yakuza Like a Dragon and Infinite Wealth, are probably the ones that will take you longer.
Yeah,
because they're turn-based RPGs,
which I'm not a massive fan of.
Yeah, and so you need to level up and stuff. They have a lot of like quality of life and accessibility systems there in settings that make you, even if you're not a big RPG guy, you can get around. But the man who raised his name is very short, like very very.
I do
short
want to
game.
get through them.
Yeah.
Then this pirate game coming out.
That's coming up. We'll talk about that later as well. So that's another game that was released this year to a lot of fanfare as well and praise. Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble. Banana Rumble is what we do. What we do on this show, we Banana Ramble. Banana Rumble was the game. We actually played the multiplayer mode on stream, the three of us in Viper. Pleasantly surprised by that.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by the game too. Like, I mean, I guess I tried a game from this series like years earlier, but like this is the first time I really like took it on, like playing it, like finishing the story and things like that, like playing through the game. And yeah, it is a very fun game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for me, the single player was exceptional. Like, my favorite Monkey Ball game, single player wise, since the original. It's just the multiplayer that wasn't the best, or as good as I was expecting it to be, considering that was like the main highlight. We have mentioned this, like it was the main focus of the trailers and whatnot, and
Yeah.
in fact, it was the single player that shone for me.
Yeah, I
Sure.
could see them like adding more. Like I didn't dislike the things that were there, but I could definitely see them adding more to the experience.
I was just looking up the Metacritic scores for Banana Rumble. 77 from critics and 7.5 from users. The
Yeah,
Irish Independent gave it a 100.
Really?
For
Wow.
my money, it's the joyful purity of adventure mode that will win you round, pitting you and your reflexes against craftily designed game worlds with just 2 thumbsticks for control.
Yeah.
Well
Can't disagree
said,
with that.
Irish Independent. And that's about it in terms of like the like the higher scores. It's basically 90.
I think
90
really.
from Screen Rant, 85 from Noisy Pixel. Yeah. But
Yeah, I think it's well deserved. Actually, it's probably is a good solid 8 overall as a package.
I do agree with that assessment. Yeah, solid 8, and the best Super Monkey Ball game in a long time. So, and people who are fans of the original 2 games are really raving about this game everywhere. Everywhere I look, like the fans really enjoyed it. And it was recently updated with the 2.0 update, which I haven't checked out yet, but adds more single player stuff. And there's Godzilla and Hatsune Miku. So that's something for fans to check out as well. Another highlight of the year. I think these were the big ones.
Yeah.
If we're more into the Sega side of things, right? I think those are the big ones. So the 4 that we mentioned: Sonic X, Shadow X Sonic Generations. This is hard.
Sonic X
Metaphor.
Shadow Generations.
Shut up. Metaphor Refantasio, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, and Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble are probably the 4 ones. I'll probably add maybe Unicorn Overlord here, which also got nominated as Best Strategy Game, but I haven't played it, and it's more like a strategy RPG. So not really up my alley, and maybe more of a niche thing as well. There was another big one, or at least 2 for the Atlas fans. Persona 3 Reload was a big thing for Persona fans. Haven't checked that out yet. I know that for many people, Persona 3 is the best Persona game in the series. So this Reload update is like a step up. Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance also released this year, which is another one for Atlas fans, and also a highly praised RPG. We also got Puyo Puyo Puzzle Pop for Apple Arcade. I played a little bit of it, but
Same here.
as it happens with phone games, mobile games, was just a little bit. Yakuza Kiwami was finally released on Switch. Was kind of surprising, but we got that as well. And Sonic Toys Party, remember that? Which now we know is Sonic Rumble. This is the year of Rumble, not the year of Shadow. It's the year of Rumble. Banana Rumble and Sonic Rumble. Sonic Rumble turned out to be a free-to-play game for mobile and PC. And it got like its open beta, like preview event in certain territories, and it's coming out winter.
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 Now.
So maybe now, right? I think
Yeah.
it was winter. They said so. Probably not this year, but early 2025. You can actually pre-register. Have you guys done that?
No,
I haven't.
I didn't
No,
even know you
I
could do that.
have. I have. I don't know if there's I don't think there's a specific date yet. Yeah, it says soon in the Apple Store. They have a placeholder date for the 28th of February, but I think it's just a placeholder date.
We gotta play it.
We do. We got to play it together.
Do we know? I forgot. Is it cross-platform?
I hope it is.
Yeah,
I hope it is.
I really
And
hope it is.
for Apple devices. Whoa, no, it's the trailer song. For Apple devices, it's available for iPhone and iPad, but not Mac. But I think it's available for PC as well.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and that's it for games. I believe I haven't missed anything. So very quickly, guys, I think I know the answer, but best Sega game of the year, Lime.
Sonic X Shadow Generations.
Okay, James.
No surprise there.
No. I won't even talk about it anymore. James.
I don't know. It's a toss between Shadow X Sonic Generations and Metaphor for me. I haven't put enough time in for Metaphor to truly appreciate that, so I'll say Shadow Generations for now.
Yeah.
Sonic X Shadow Generations, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's why it's hard for me to say. It's Sonic X Shadow. Yes, that's
Yeah.
why it wasn't rolling off the tongue. Yeah, thank you, Lime, for figuring it out. Yeah, Sonic X
for
Shadow.
editing our documents
Editing our document now.
from Shadow X Sonic
I've been
Generations
saying
to
Shadow
Sonic
X
X Shadow
Sonic.
Generations.
Yeah, that doesn't really. That's why
That was throwing me off, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now I realize what my problem was. Sonic X Shadow Generations. That's much easier to say. Yeah. For me, like Dragon Infinite Wealth, for sure. Yeah. I like Sonic X Shadow. Really, really good. Especially the shadow part. Metaphor, amazing. I would probably say in terms of actual quality, Metaphor, Like a Dragon, and Sonic X Shadow on par, but completely different genres. And so that's and the fact that we have the Sonic thing, which is really just a touch up here and there.
Yeah,
and
it's
the
a
Chow.
re-release. Like, let's just call it
Yeah.
what it is. Like, they can call it a remaster,
But the
as
shadow
many
the
times as
shadow
they
part
want
is
to.
worth
But it's
it.
a re-release.
The shadow part is worth it. It's just
Yeah,
like
indeed.
I can't really bring myself to judge it on par with the other two games, which are huge, have a lot of content, brand new content, and are amazing in every
Yeah.
respect. But I'm not hating on Sonic X Shadow at all.
Yeah,
We talked about this during our special episode. It's a really, really good game, especially the
I should
shadow
also
part.
add that, like, it could be after I've really gotten into Metaphor that could be my game of the year, because like I'm definitely gonna get into it at some point, and I do feel like I'm really, really, really going to enjoy the game.
Yeah,
So-
I hope you do, but I don't think you'll
You don't think
enjoy
so?
it more than Sonic X Shadow
You don't think so?
Generations.
Okay,
I don't think
yeah.
so.
We'll
Knowing
see.
you, I don't think so.
I mean, I like turn-based RPGs.
Okay, but it's Sonic.
So
It's an amazing shadow campaign.
yeah,
We did
indeed,
give
indeed.
Sonic a B in the T rating, though.
A. Turned out to be an A at the end.
Yeah, it turned
Originally
out to be
B.
an A at-
Originally
at-
B, I
at-
think,
at the
yeah.
end. But like, if it continues in the direction as it's done in Sonic Frontiers and Shadow Generations, like that to me, if you don't count the DLC, that is S tier for me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it was more like not in terms of quality, but in terms of like importance. That's I think why we went with an S here. Clearly, the flagship franchise for Sega, right? But yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so that's all in terms of games. In terms of news, actual things that happened, we went with just one thing as the big and it's always a good excuse to talk about this man right here. Justin Scarpone. I don't know how you pronounce his name, but with who I as a means of like a term of endearment, I call Disney villain like person.
Yeah. Are we being mean when we're saying that?
No. Justin, if you're watching this, please come on the Sega Lounge. I wanna have a chat with you about this transmedia thing. He actually, and I've seen interviews with him after that, and he looks like a really nice guy. So it's just a recurring joke at this point. But in February this year, he was appointed like lead of global transmedia strategy. I think he's like chief executive officer of Transmedia or something at Sega. And that means that they are focusing, as we already knew at that time, they are focusing more on the transmedia side of things. So it's not just games, but other types of media like movies, TV shows, board games, books, whatever it is, all the kind of media involving their IPs. And on that note, throughout the year, we got either releases or announcements of those projects. For example, we know we have the third Sonic movie, which by the time this is airing, most people probably already watched the movie. Lime's already safe and sound back in Sweden when people are watching this show, and had
So
an
looking
amazing
forward to
time.
it.
How was it, Lime? How was it to watch the Sonic movie in London?
All right. Oh, it was awesome. Wow. Yeah. Since it's gonna air after,
Exactly.
now we're here when I
Yeah.
have watched it and returned, so that I can say that it was amazing. I loved it. I cried. I laughed. It was an amazing experience.
I cried.
Don't see
I
it.
laughed. I laughed. I laughed. Not left. Left.
Yeah.
Left. So you will
That's on the movie
you will
poster.
feel all the emotions. We also got the Knuckles TV show, which was met with mixed reactions.
Yeah.
The Like a Dragon Yakuza TV show, which was also met with mixed reactions. I actually enjoyed this one. But and we talked about this, I think, when we had like Rafsig and Dr. Scottnik and Cory Maru on the show. People were expecting a faithful adaptation of the first game of Yakuza 1 or Kiwami, and this wasn't that. This was their own take on that, with similar-ish things, but many things that were very different.
Yeah.
But
Strange decision, though.
It didn't really capture me. Like I watched like five episodes, and then
you're one from the finale, so just watch the final one.
Yeah, and that's why. And I don't feel like going back to it. Like I just didn't get into it, and so like I don't feel invested enough to actually even go and see the ending, really, to be honest with you. So yeah, like it didn't really capture me, I guess, personally.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. It's a slow burner for sure. That's one thing. And then if I was in it for the Like a Dragon world, which I think they faithfully recreated. Like feels like Kamurocho and feels like what some of the things that would happen in the games, but it's a whole different take on it for sure. Different characters as well. The highlight for sure is Majima, but he doesn't really show up much. See, Majima is just like crazy and faithful, but he should have more airtime for sure. Did you watch anything of this, James?
I watched the first 10 minutes, and then because I was around a friend's house, we decided to put something else on. But it is something I would. I mean, watching this trailer now, it looks really good. So I would like to go back and give it another go. But yeah, we weren't enjoying the sort of non-canon-esque feeling from it. Like after playing the games, it just felt like it was almost like a fan-made project in a sense. At least that first opening to it.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's a different take on it. It's not bad, I will say, but I would I think they will, if they actually there's there's a hint at the end that there's more to come, right? Or that could be more to come. If they actually continue this, I'm guessing they will probably fix some of that and go more into canon territory. I feel like.
I think it's probably a better idea to just like do like a whole clean slate. Like if they're gonna do that, like
that's hard because they set some things up for a potential second season. So
yeah, but I mean, if we want them to be like a little bit more faithful to the original story, I guess I don't see the point in like building on this story that doesn't, and then like continue to like involve more things, like
they
in a
could,
kind of like
though.
a mixed thing.
They could do Yakuza 2 without changing anything.
Okay.
They could. I can see that working. Just like, don't delve too much into some of the things that you.
I guess it did that in the Sonic movie is series. Like they began with like basically not very much.
Yeah,
and then now they're kind of like really adapting like a story from the game. So like I guess it definitely could be done.
Yeah. So that's what happened this year. Sorry, James. Yeah,
I was just going to say, I guess the difference is that this first season of Like a Dragon is a story that is based on the series, whereas like Sonic was kind of like it's got the characters in, but the story isn't actually taken from anything. Whereas this is like literally taken from
Yakuza. Right.
But it's not.
Yeah.
Just the characters actually in the city and like some of the names. But yeah. I think people expected it to be more faithful to the source material than it was. Whereas in Sonic, we knew what we were getting. At least we knew there were human characters that we didn't know about, that didn't come from the games, and
yeah. I'm just saying, like, if my point was that no, Yakuza started unfaithful to the true story, so now they can't really adapt into doing that, like to be faithful, like continuing on what they have, then the counterpoint would be that's kind of what they did with the Sonic movies. Like they started a little bit unfaithful to the Sonic lore, but now it seems like they really are going to follow the game story. So I'm just saying, like, yeah, if Sonic did it, then I guess Yakuza could do it too.
Sure. I think so. I think that's a good point and a good way to go if they do get the approval for a second season. Which, judging by people's reactions, maybe not, but who knows? Hopefully they can do another one and fix some of it. So that's what happened in terms of Transmedia, or part of it, this year, 2024. But we already know, and it was announced, that we will be getting an animated Golden Axe series, like for Comedy Central. Interesting. We'll be getting an Eternal Champions movie.
Right.
A Shinobi movie.
Right.
And we already know that the House of the Dead movie will be directed by Paul W.S. Anderson. So we got some news in terms of the Transmedia side of things. Apart from everything else that we already knew before, like Space Channel 5 movie, Streets of Rage movie, there's a lot of that. Am I missing something? Crazy Taxi movie?
Um,
No.
I can't think. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it. Since not everything, I'm assuming the Sonic movie is at least good, right? Not like
Oh
a
yeah, like
masterpiece of
since when
cinematography
this
and
is
stuff.
airing, you've already seen it, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that I enjoyed it very much as a Sonic fan, but the rest was like a mixed bag. How do you feel about like all of these adaptations and TV shows and movies that are coming out? Is this something to be excited about? Not really. What do you think?
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely excited. It's just the unusual picks for series like Eternal Champions.
Yeah.
Was Rent a Hero the other one, or was that I don't know? But
We talked
That's
about
for like
the
an
story of
NFT stuff, right? So Red the Hero Z,
was it not a
wasn't
movie
it?
as well? I can't
Was
think.
it? Am I? Maybe. Oh yes, it is. Yeah, that was supposed to be a. Oh, that's true.
But very unusual picks for films, but exciting nonetheless. Especially if they're gonna like all come on under this sort of Sega circle of films, which it seems like where the Sonic movie starts and you see all the games, it merges into the Sega logo. Having that type of vibe with all of these movies could be quite a nice feeling for Sega fans.
Mm-hmm.
Got like a stack of DVDs. What Sega films shall I watch today? Almost. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I
Just
was
hopefully
looking
they're good.
into the Rent a Hero movie. The news is from 2016.
Yeah. So
So I don't think we got anything else.
when
Have a
was the
director?
Space Channel 5 movie news? Was that not around that time as well?
Was it? A long time ago. I wonder if everything that it got announced in that department was or is still happening. No, I think that was 2022. Apparently, yeah, 2022. That's
Okay.
later. It's more recent. Yeah. I mean, if it gets more people to recognize these brands, these games, and that makes Sega think of releasing more games and better games in these classic series, I'm all up for it. Even if it's like not the best thing in the world, not the best movie in the world to watch, but it's decent and brings more fans to these classic IPs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
It's
good
got a
thing.
good chance of doing it. It's like when we were talking about in the tier list about series like Golden Axe, for example, where Ravsik was saying like kids got no idea what Golden Axe is, but if they're watching a show on Comedy Central, it's hilarious. It's maybe even targeted for that type of viewer. They can then get into a Golden Axe thing, and it is a well-known property then at that point
Yeah.
moving forward.
Although
Which would be
the
pretty
show
cool.
is probably more for young adults.
Young adults.
I do wonder, like, sure, with Golden Axe as a game series, like good gameplay and stuff, like it was enjoyable. Obviously, are the characters interesting enough, like by themselves, to be interesting as a cartoon series?
Not to me at this point, but maybe they will be in the
Yeah,
TV show.
if
I don't know.
there's material there, there's like they have
Okay.
backstories. So
Okay.
that you have a dwarf, you have like an
Conan the
Amazon
Barbarian.
woman, a barbarian, yes, exactly,
Yeah.
ex battler. So they all have different backgrounds. They have their own different backstories. It just depends if the writing is good or not,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and if the jokes land or not. A comedy series about Golden Axe seems like kind of a weird pick. Especially if the game, we don't know what the new era game is going to be like. Everyone's betting on like a Souls like game. So I don't know, animated comedy show with like a very like realistic looking hard as nails game. like set in the Middle Ages or whatever. I don't know if it matches that well, but I guess we'll see. Different tones, I'm guessing, unless it's like the tone is the same. It's like goofy and but I don't see it
Hilarious.
being that.
Hilarity
Judging from that,
ensues.
that's like the frames we got from that teaser trailer last year. Okay, so that's the transmedia side of things. I think that's the big thing in terms of like if we were to consider it like the two pillars of Sega in 2024, I would say first of all, very good games. The quality of games released this year was amazing, exceptional. Sega has brought their A game to the releases we got this year, and it seems like for next year it's going to be the same. And the second pillar would be the transmedia stuff with TV shows and movies.
Yeah, good year for Sega.
For sure. Other bits of news that I actually put here to talk about before we get into like next year, what's going to be happening next year. There was new content for Sonic Dream Team. Last year we raved about Sonic Dream Team, especially in the season finale. We talked a lot about that, how good it was. And this year they released more stuff. Lime, you 100%ed it as soon as possible.
Yeah, indeed. And I very much appreciated the sweet dreams part, especially like the hard mode, if you will. It was very much fun, right up my alley personally. And then to end the whole thing with the last stage, like the bitter sweet way. I think that's what they call it, like a very, very, very long stage. If that is also very, very difficult all the way through, like to S rank that one, like I was shaking when I like finally got it, and it was like that's the kind of moments I'm looking for. Like it doesn't have to be difficult for the for the average player, um, but like as I think we talked about once before, like if you want to S rank it, then I want to feel like that, like
There
like
needs to be a
I've been working
challenge, a
for
proper
this.
challenge.
Yeah, indeed. Um, I also remember like very much praising Sonic Dream Team in the beginning of like, wow, this is flawless. Like the controls feel very awesome. I haven't noticed any bugs, but then with the DLC, suddenly there was just like continuous random crashes, like the game just freeze like basically every time I played it, so I needed to reboot it. Sometimes when I started a stage, the stage wasn't there at all, and there was just like these very weird stuff, like with the crystals not resetting when you pressed retry, so you could use that to get an S rank.
Yeah.
And so it's like, and you could get to the end of the stage, and then since like, and then the orb wasn't even there, so you can't finish the stage because, oh, I got the orb once and I pressed to retry and it didn't reset. So when I got to the end of the stage, then the orb wasn't there and I couldn't finish the stage. It's like it was extremely buggy, the DLC, and I don't know what happened with
It's
that.
it's like understandable as well because when you're releasing a mobile game, you're releasing for several different devices. Even if this is just an Apple Arcade game, it's supposed to work on Macs, on iPads, different models, iPhones, different models, Apple TVs, and so it's probably more streamlined than like something like a Sonic Rumble that's releasing everywhere. But it's also expect it to be like they fixed what they could fix, and then when it's out there, maybe people will find new bugs.
Yeah, but I mean, they managed to do it for
Yeah.
the non DLC part. So
Yeah.
I feel like they
Rushed it a little bit.
missed. Yeah, like something happened. Like they missed something, I guess, with the DLC specifically.
But it's been fixed, right? Since.
Maybe not that I know of.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Like
because you didn't go back.
all I know,
Right.
for all I know, it's still there.
Okay.
But yeah, you know, I 100%ed it, and then I left it, and so
and now
I don't know. Maybe there's a patch after that, but
and now you have
yeah,
Shadow in Sonic Dream Team.
Shadow. Yes,
Yeah,
indeed.
so that's that. You need to go back to it, because if you really want to 100% this, and Shadow also has some abilities like in Shadow Generations.
When
So-
like is this out now?
I think it is.
Or oh
I
my
think
gosh,
it is.
okay.
I believe
And
today, if I'm not mistaken,
It's pretty
as we're
cool.
recording this. So
and there's new content with it.
yeah, and Shadow has
Which
new abilities, and there's like a new challenge at least. So I do believe
Okay.
99% line.
Okay.
99%.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And the thing
Yeah.
is,
It was updated today to include
yeah,
Shadow.
yeah,
Several new challenges to discover.
yeah.
New. This is in Brazilian Portuguese, and it's really poorly translated sometimes. I believe there's a new row of rewards or something with statues and songs and powers, and he has chaos control amongst other
98% now.
abilities. Oh, and
Okay.
the tutorial was updated to help people like you, Lime, beginners.
Wow. So the thing about that is that wow, like my 100% of all main consoles Sonic games, like I'm including the Sonic Dream Team in that lasted for like what, like a month or something. And the thing is, I just turned in all of my equipment
Oh, yeah.
from work.
Yeah.
Because I don't work there anymore, and so I had to wipe and return the Mac as well. So I can't 100% that game now. So I'm basically stuck in not having that
98%.
achievement.
Yeah, forever
I-
98%.
I am stuck at not having that achievement anymore of having 100%ed all of the game. Oh my gosh.
So this is the updated version. So Shadow added as a new playable character. Harness the power of chaos control and chaos shift to manipulate time. Loads more challenge levels to discover. Explore a new
Loads
reward
more.
track full of statues, music, and 6 new powers to collect. Updated tutorial level to help new players. That was updated today.
It sounds very fun. I wish I
December
had
18th.
I wish I had an Apple machine to play that, but I don't anymore.
But it's cool.
And if I get a hold of one, I'm gonna have to restart from the beginning.
Now you just
God.
use your Apple ID and it should be there.
It's still there? Okay.
Should be. Yeah.
Hmm.
So that's part of what
0%
happened this year.
less.
Right. Sonic Dream
Yeah.
Team. Another thing that I want to briefly mention, limited run games released a lot of stuff, a lot of Sega stuff.
Yep.
I would assume for myself, and I think you, James, the big thing
Yep.
was like the Dreamcast, trading cards and like the anniversary stuff, which included obviously this month's release, the Shenmue merch, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Interestingly, when they announced it, they had like a list of all these different games. It seemed like they were going to do one per month. But the Dreamcast one was like September, right? And before October, and it's been a couple of months anyway. And
I think they announced it. You have like 1 month to pre-order, so it's like September up to October,
Yep.
November, and we're missing one. So
I'm
yeah,
pretty sure they
probably.
skipped a month. Yeah,
Yeah, probably.
because they did Sonic Adventure actually, didn't they? That was the
Yeah.
first set of merch, which
Yeah.
was really cool. They had like skate decks and Big the Cat's hat, which was pretty funny. The Shenmue merch is pretty cool as well. They like t-shirt, a cat if you want, like Mimi, the kitten. Which is
There you
pretty
go.
unusual. Not something I would have ever expected to see as a Shenmue
For sure.
merchandise item. But
I'm getting this.
I love it.
I'm getting this.
I'm getting this. Well, I just ordered everything because I'm crazy.
Yeah.
But there's even a Shenmue skate deck as well.
There is. I missed that. I missed the skate deck. Did I? Did I see that and just glanced over it because like no way I'm getting that.
Yeah, maybe. But like I say, there's a T-shirt.
Oh yeah, there is. There's the usual
keyring,
coin, which I usually get all the
poster.
coins. There's the skate deck as well, which is
Pretty cool.
$75 apparently.
It's good. More for like an art piece, isn't it? Right, for the wall. There's a new cap for you, Casey.
Yeah. You're getting a lot of stuff if you're into this. So
yeah,
for sure, something to look out for.
Also, they've just released the Virtua Fighter 2 set, which looks pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Virtua Fighter 5 Revo set, right? What else have they done? They've done,
which includes there's also the Virtua Fighter 2 release for the Xbox as well.
Yep.
So
and then the Like a Dragon series, they're actually doing
Like a Dragon
singular releases for them that look really cool. So there's a lot.
They did Valkyrie Chronicles 1 and Valkyrie Chronicles 4.
They kind of seem to be like the main provider of physical goods, I suppose, these days, Sega merch wise. I know obviously there's the Sega shop Europe and I think America have got a Sega shop, but recently just seems to be limited run releasing everything outside of Japan anyway.
They're branching out more into specific franchises and games, whereas Sega shop, although it has a lot of stuff, but it's mostly Sonic because that's what sells the most, I would assume. But it's nice to see them branching out. I like this, by the way. There's no chance in hell I'm going to get this, but it's because it's really expensive. But this Ultimate Showdown Collector's Edition looks really, really good.
That's the one I was thinking. So is it not Revo then? Are they not doing a Revo?
It's maybe, but this is for the PS4, so it's Ultimate Showdown, which is the same thing. Now it's going to be updated to Ultimate Showdown will be updated to 2.0, which is exactly the same thing as Virtua Fighter 5 Revo.
Got you.
They're basically the same game, but with a different title. Revo is the PC one, and Ultimate Showdown is the PlayStation 4 one.
Yeah. When I saw these advertised, I was like instant buy, but then I saw the price. Not so sure.
Yeah. Now this is just for Ultimate Showdown, so just for the PS4 version apparently. And they have this Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown Classic Edition as well, which is a little
cool.
bit
I love the box.
Simple. And there's this
Virtua
is
Fighter
for
2
the Xbox Virtua Fighter 2, which I mean, why? It's just for the extra content, because why are you charging $65 for Virtua Fighter 2?
Is this what's just been recently delisted? Is this one of those games?
I actually don't know. Maybe it is. But not sure if recently. I don't know if it was still available as part of like XBLA, Xbox Live Arcade. Not sure.
Yeah,
because it's an older game. But yeah, a lot of Sega stuff. Not all of it fairly or reasonably priced, I would say. But I think the big thing here, in terms of like continuity and like squeezing you out of all of your money, is the trading cards. So if people really want all the trading cards, they really have to spend a lot of money. So I decided early on that I would like get one of each, in terms of like one pack of each, and I didn't buy like the box of trading cards when the Dreamcast set was announced. I think I bought like the one that has like 10 packs or whatever.
A little booster thing.
Yeah, the
But
little
if you
booster thing.
notice per game as well, there's like a replica case that they're doing for each game. And
Yeah.
there's unique cards in them as well. So if you're really going for like a full set of these trading cards, you've got to buy every single game case replica as these games are released on limited run games. So they've kind of got you by the you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're sort of in it for the long haul anyway.
Yeah, for Shenmue, for example, you get this,
Yep.
and then which is $15. Okay, and you
Comes
get
with
like
the
a couple of
Shenmue card.
exclusive
Yeah.
cards, right? Yeah, and you need to get one of these for each franchise, and you need to get you needed to get like the because you don't know what cards are in each pack, so it's like randomized. So maybe you get some repeats, and even if you're like doing the math, okay, so I need like I don't know how many cards there are, but like I need 10 packs. Okay, but then you got to repeat. So no, so yeah, spend all the money. Spend all the money. Yeah, that was big, I think, as well in terms of news. Final couple of news bits for this year. Alien Isolation, which is a game that I really enjoy, and I should play. I'm planning on playing this again on stream at some point. Now that the show is going to be off season for a while, I'll probably do a stream or a couple of streams playing this Alien Isolation. It turned 10 this year in 2024, and the Creative Assembly announced a sequel, which is nice. So that's another game to expect and to look forward to if you're a fan of Alien Isolation, which I never thought I would say I am, but I am indeed a fan of Alien Isolation. I'm not a fan of horror games, not really a big fan of Alien, but I played Alien Isolation and I've played it like in 2 other platforms after that, after I played it on stream for the first time. I own it on Steam. I own it on Android as well. Like I had one of my like Android handhelds, retro handhelds, and I downloaded that for that as well. I paid for it there, and I played it there. So really fun game. I guess I like to be scared. And the other thing that was to end on a sad note, SEGA delisted several games earlier this month, right? So several Sega Classic games were delisted December 6th. Why? Money, probably.
Limited run games. They're going to do release for every single one.
Would you imagine that? Like every classic Mega Drive game, if you want to get this, if you didn't get it on Steam earlier, you have to buy a physical thing that costs $70, which includes a code to download the game, which cost $1 back in the day. That's amazing. That's Elon Musk kind. No, not like Jeff Bezos like just like Bezos like move. So yeah, unfortunately, if you're listening to this and thinking, "Oh, I need to get my Sega games before they do that," it's too late. They're now have been delisted now for a few weeks, and so there's no chance anymore. But be on the lookout for whatever it is Sega is planning to do with these classic IPs.
Hopefully they're doing this like for a reason, like they're planning something. I can just hope that that's the case.
One would hope, especially on Steam, because it doesn't really make much sense to delist them on Steam, where
like,
everything.
Does it cost money to keep it up on Steam, and that's why they decided to delist it? Like, could that be a thing? Because, like you said, because money.
I don't know.
I was thinking
majority
because they're trying to think of new ways to take take your money, not just like they're spending money to keep them up. But
Yeah. But I'm just thinking like to delist it so that you can't buy it anymore rhymes badly with wanting money.
yeah,
I'm thinking
probably something else
unless
coming.
unless the cost to keep it up now is more than what they get from it. I
don't
could
know.
like that could be something, I guess, but I don't know how it works.
Me neither.
No, I'm just looking through the list. Like all of the Mega Drive games, they've kind of been on the Mega Drive Mini, the Mega Drive Mini 2. So I don't really know what else they could do with them, if you know what I mean, at this point. Are they going to put them in another
They'll think
collection?
of something. They'll think of something. Don't worry. Yeah, I'm guessing they'll think of a creative way to make you pay for them again.
Wasn't there going to be a Sega multiverse type of thing with these new era type experiences? Could they potentially do like a big all-encompassing Sega world?
Crossworlds?
Maybe.
Sonic Racing Crossworlds? Now featuring all of these franchises?
But like I was thinking that there was going to be like a sort of like a Mii character, whatever they're called, where you'd create one in this sort of Sega multiverse. Or have I just dreamt this? Does this ring a bell? Where you make your own sort of Mii character?
I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, I think people were like somehow speculating on what could be done with this. Ever since they announced the games would be delisted, people were like speculating what could be done, because it's not like Sega to do this in when they had like a, especially the one that I'm not really I'm trying to rack my brain around this, but like why delist it on Steam unless you're planning on doing something else with it? Because they delisted Sonic Generations, but they were coming out with the new Sonic Generations, right? A new version of it. And the Sega Mega Drive Classics UI, like the whole platform, worked perfectly fine on Steam. So I don't really understand why they had to do that, unless they're coming up with something new. But I would guess that something new will probably cost you more money than just the 99 cents or whatever it was. And maybe it comes with like an avatar creating mechanic or something.
Did they delist something along with the release of Sonic Origins as well?
No, actually, no. They have now, but not then. Yeah. So you could have Sonic 1 and 2 and 3. No, I don't think 3 was there. I don't think we had 3 on Steam. Did we? But I think you could just play the Sonic games. You could have them on Steam like it's part of the Sega Mega Drive Classics collection. They didn't do anything when Origins came out. But now they have.
Yeah.
Right. So that's it. That's it for 2024. Are we in agreement? Games and Transmedia, the big things? Yeah.
I'd say so.
I think so. In terms of the future, I found this little very useful like graph on Reddit. Announced Sega Group games. Some of them have a 20XX date, which I'm saying, what?
They're going to be released at the same time as Mega Man.
They're set in the same universe and all like dystopian future movies and games. So it's probably 2020X, right? So it's still in this decade, but we're not sure yet when. So 2025, we know we will have Virtua Fighter 5 Revo, January. February, Like a Dragon Pirate, Yakuza in Hawaii. That's the whole title. March, 2-Point Museum and Football Manager 25 late this year, but it's going to be a big one. Persona 5X or Phantom X, or I don't remember the full name of this, but it's going to be released 2025. Is this to be released in the West as well? Can't remember for sure, but it's at least being released somewhere. 2025. I don't know why they say 2025 because I think the trailer said coming soon, but Sonic Racing Crossworlds. Did it say 2025?
Yeah,
Couldn't tell you.
it says 2025 on the image.
Yeah, but this is not official, I believe. So
Yeah, okay.
that's why I'm doubting this. But it's probably 2025. It makes sense. It's the Sonic game of 2025. Perhaps. Makes sense. And then we don't really know Project Century, Golden Axe, Jet Radio, Streets of Rage 3D, Crazy Taxi, Shinobi. There's more Total War. There's Alien Isolation 2, Virtua Fighter 6 or New Project or whatever it is. Rent a Hero Z or Z, which is the NFT thing, whatever that is. And an Angry Birds game as well. Because
Ooh,
Sega owns Rovio now.
exciting.
Remember?
Right.
Exciting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
Hear
wait.
me
So,
out, guys.
so,
Is
so
it Sonic Racing
this is-
Crossroads because it's going to be Sonic and Angry Birds?
Ooh,
Maybe so, yeah.
Ooh.
Synergy.
Oh my gosh! Angry Birds stage track to race through.
And
That
Shadow,
could be
movie
interesting.
Shadow.
Yeah, indeed.
Transmedia.
Yeah, like they've already, I think, like kind of alluded to that with the trailer, like movie shadow stages.
Yeah. It seems
but
like it.
yeah,
Mhm. So it seems like we have a lot to look forward to. So in terms of like of what we know is coming out next year, and not considering Sonic Racing Crossroads because we don't really know for sure if it's 2025 or not. But what are you guys more excited about?
So about those first 5 images.
Yeah.
Maybe Pirate Yakuza? I don't know, actually. It's quite tough.
Not
I mean,
really
I'm kind of excited to see
something
what they've
that
done to Football Manager, actually, 25. I haven't played like a Football Manager game for a while, so if they've done like a significant change, and it's maybe more realistic watching football match type of experience.
seems
which would
like
be
it.
pretty
Yeah.
cool. That'd be up my street, actually, yeah.
What about you, Lime?
I'm not even sure I need to say it.
I think it's Virtua Fighter 5 because you're finally getting into Virtua Fighter.
That's not it.
No, I don't. We're
I'm
not
definitely
considering
looking
Sonic Racing.
forward. I'm definitely, yes, it is
Okay.
definitely Sonic.
No, we're
Sonic
not
Racing.
considering Sonic Racing. That's what I said.
Why we're not?
Preface, because it's not been announced as a 2025 game yet.
But okay. In that case, I am looking forward to Jet Set Radio.
That's not 2025 either. Just the
No.
first 5
Okay,
pictures.
fine. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what are the rules?
Virtua
Rules are
Fighter, Pirate
2025.
Yakuza, 2-Point Museum,
Okay,
Football
but like
Manager,
how
and Persona
how
5X.
do I know which ones are 2025?
The ones that say 2025 that are not Sonic
No,
Racing
because I
Crossroads.
said Sonic
That
Racing
are
and
not
it says
Sonic Racing
2025 there, and
Crossroads.
you say I can't say that.
That are not Sonic Racing Crossroads again.
Yeah, okay, fine.
So the first 5 pictures. It's
It's
Virtua Fighter 5 Revo because you're going to get into that series now. Next.
what is the Persona 5 one?
I'm not entirely sure, to be honest, because I'm not sure if it's been completely announced for the West. I
Okay.
knew this was going to be released in Asia, but I can check pretty quickly and see if it's so it's P5X, I believe, is the best way to look for this.
What does the X stand for?
I think it's the Phantom X. Persona 5, the Phantom X. Yeah.
Okay.
It was released this year, but not in the West yet. So it's iOS, Android, and PC game. Oh, it was released in PC. So okay, it's a gacha game.
Okay. So
Yeah.
Yakuza then.
Yeah.
That's my
I
answer.
think they're it's been released in South Korea, Taiwan, and China so far.
Interesting.
So
My answer is
I
Yakuza.
don't.
My answer is actually
think-
Sonic Racing, but it's Yakuza.
Yeah.
Yeah. If Sonic Racing is 2025, that's my answer
Okay.
as well.
Even if Sonic Racing is 2025, it's Yakuza for me. It's like a dragon pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. It's Majima as a pirate.
Fine, Casey. Then you're not invited to all of the multiplayer racing that we're gonna do.
You're not going to do any multiplayer racing because it's a single player game.
Do you not think
To
it's gonna be
spoil your
multiplayer
fun.
racing?
I don't
Do you really think there's not gonna be multiplayer in the game?
What's the fun in that in the kart racing game? That's no fun. Okay, so guys, I think that's about it. That wraps up our overview of 2024 for people who, if you were living in a cave this past year and you missed all that happened in the world of Sega, I think this is a pretty nice way to sum everything up. So, in short, go play Sonic X, Shadow Generations, Super Monkey Ball, Banana Rumble, Metaphor Rift Fantasio, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, Persona 3 Reload, Unicorn Overlord, and all the other games that Sega released this year because they were all pretty good, right? I think that this sums up.
Go watch Sonic 3.
Go watch Sonic 3 if you want. Watch the Knuckles
Definitely.
TV show. Doesn't hurt.
No.
Don't do
No.
that. If you want, watch the Like a Dragon TV show, or maybe not. Okay, maybe
Watch,
just
watch Sonic 1, Sonic 2, and Sonic 3. And yeah, that's
it. That's about
that's
it.
it.
Okay, and that's about it for
Buy all the
this
Shenmue
show.
merch.
Yeah, and buy Shenmue and hashtag Let's Get Shenmue 4. Oh, I missed the one of the big events of this year as well, which was the Shenmue Dojo turned 24 years old this year, and we also 25 years of Shenmue, which is
24. That's amazing.
24.
It is crazy, isn't it? It's a bit mental, really.
Amazing. And the Sega Lounge turned 10 as well. So as
That's
a
mental as well.
very brief mention, I would just like to thank everyone who came on the show, especially these two beautiful people over here to my right. You guys were with me from the very beginning of the season. I think this was the most fun I've had doing this show ever. This was the most fun I had this season. That was a moment somewhere throughout the season that I was feeling a little bit burnt out. But the way that we did things this year with more roundtables and more like specific, like special episodes, that brought a little bit more life into the show, I feel. And without you two guys, it wouldn't have been the same. So thank you very much for joining me for all these
I'm
episodes.
just very, very, very honored to be a part of it. So it's an absolute pleasure.
Thank you guys. Yeah. And a big thank you
appreciate
to all the guests who also came to the show, all the other people who joined the panels that we had, like the roundtable discussions. We did a Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth special, a Sonic X Shadow Generations special, a Metaphor Fantasio special. Maybe we did more that I don't remember right now. We had a special, had two actually. A Monkey Ball special. That's true. We had a couple of special challenges, like challenge only episodes. One to celebrate 10 years of the show. One that we pitted together, like pit Shenmue Dojo against the Dreamcast Junkyard. It was really nice as well. Really fun. We celebrated 35 years of the Sega Genesis in America. We celebrated 25 years of the Dreamcast in Europe. 30 years of the Saturn in Japan. So we went all around the world to celebrate anniversaries. And 35 years of the Master System in Brazil as well. So all around the world, as I said. And many consoles were discussed. We had a Sage special. We talked about Sega games on Nintendo systems with Game Informer's Brian Shea, which was another great guest, who was a great guest as well. And there's too much to mention. So if you missed any of this, just go back. TheSegaLounge.com. You can have like the list of episodes and in categories as well. If you want to look for episodes featuring these two beautiful people next to me, just search for guests and find James Brown and Lime Reversed, and they'll show up with all their episodes next to their names. Guys, where can people find you? James.
Mainly here these days.
That's true.
Yeah. Other than that, ShenmueDojo.com is where I reside the most, and just SkillJim on Twitter, mainly. YouTube, if you like. I do quite a few Sonic sort of related videos on my YouTube channel. That's just SkillJim. Yeah, that's about it, really. If you're a bit big into Shenmue, just come join the Shenmue Dojo Discord. Have a little natter in there. Do some decent podcast shows as well. If you're into your podcast material, we've got an upcoming, although it will have been released by now. In fact, it already has been released. What mind about it came out yesterday. The Christmas special with George Kitchen, talking about Dreams of Saturn 2.0, which is an awesome Shenmue fan game that even if you're not a big Shenmue fan, you should definitely check out, because there's loads and loads of Sega Easter eggs and mini games, references to like Streets of Rage, Phantasy Star Online. There's just loads of content in there that you should
and it's
check out.
supposed to be available now, as people are
Available
listening
now.
to this.
It should be, yeah. So
Yes,
it
should
came
be.
out on the 21st of December.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed it did.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Check it out.
Right. Excellent. Thank you, James. Lime.
Yes, people can find me on X, Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, YouTube, Lime Reversed in all of them, but mainly Lime Reversed on Twitch, where I stream and do most of the stuff, which is awesome. Finished 100%ing on main console Sonic games, although now that's taken away from me because of the Sonic Dream Team update that I can't really do anything about because I don't have an Apple machine anymore. But I'm looking forward to more Sega education with KC and hopefully RevSeg as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Looking forward to that as well. We need to play more games, more Sega games.
Indeed. Yeah.
And that's about it for this show, for this season of the show. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening / watching. Look forward to more video content on our YouTube channel, even as we're off season. Maybe more clips, more things that haven't been uploaded in video form before. Just go to our YouTube channel and subscribe there for that content. And also, just saying, maybe twitch.tv / the Sega Lounge, maybe in the coming weeks. That's where you'll probably find me sometimes. I still need to finish Shenmue 1 and see how many winning cans I can collect in total.
Right.
There's one more stream to go to finish that.
I never got one. I never got one winning can.
I mean, I have like 50 or 60 at this point. It's just crazy.
You got like 13 in a row, didn't you?
Yeah, I think so. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
So thank you again for joining me, guys. Thank you for listening or watching, and just like direct. Thank you. And we'll see you next time, whenever that is. Stay tuned to the Sega Lounge in video, audio forms, whatever, live stream form. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
The Sega Lounge, hosted by me, KC, and part of Radio Sega's network of live shows and podcasts. theme song and incidental music by OSC. Got any suggestions? Drop me an email to podcast@thesegalounge.com. Find us at The Sega Lounge on X, Twitter, and Instagram, at thesegalounge.com on Blue Sky, and be sure to check out our Twitch and YouTube channel for live video content. You can find previous episodes of the show by going to thesegalounge.com, on the Terra Player app, and wherever you listen to podcasts. A Mixed On Productions podcast.